Welcome to Kumba Software DPAA tutorials. This tutorial shows you a number of ways how you can compare certificates using DPAA on your DataPower appliances. So be sure to set your video playback to high definition, and though some visual details of DPAA may have changed since this video was created, the functionality will be the same. So I have DPAA running. I have a couple of appliances selected here. I'm just going against one domain because we've set up this tutorial to be useful to you. So what I can do is I'm on the Find Certificates tab. So if you're not already there and you want to follow along, Find Certificates. And I've searched for all certificates. Now, clearly your certificate list and your domain list and your appliance list may be different, but at the end of the day, you get a list of certificates based upon your search parameters here. So what I have is I have a number of certificates, and you can see that I have some certificates that are expired quite a while ago, and then I have some others. But this one's kind of interesting. I see two different expiration dates. Everything else looks like it should be the same. So I can select the two, and I can go, for example, over to this hamburger menu, and I can drop it down, or I can right mouse click and I can say compare selected certificates. So what happens is when I do that, I get a window that pops up that basically shows the same exact information located within this table within a side-by-side view of the screen. So we see, well, they look the same, but notice right away the serial numbers and the fingerprint's different, which clearly means that one of these has been updated and one of these it has not. And even though neither one is expired, the whole point is that we're looking at a set of certificates here that are different. And sometimes we need to see what are those differences? How are they different? I mean, clearly I have different expiration dates, so we have different certificates. But you could have something that looks identical. We've run into things in the field where even the expiration date's the same, but we have different serial numbers and something is going wrong there. One of the other ways to compare certificates is somebody could send you a new certificate. For example, we've got this set of certificates here that's expired, and somebody said, oh, well, here's your new certificate. So you can select more than one. In fact, I'll do that just for the demo. I'm going to select both of these, and somebody sent us a new one of these. So I'm going to right mouse click, and I'm going to say compare with a local certificate file. And what happens is they've sent you this new file, and they said, well, that new certificate matches the one you've got, and you're like, okay, well, the file name's the same, so let's go take a look at this and open them and compare. So now what I've got is I got a more advanced compare screen, as you can see here, and what we're seeing is you see an appliance and a domain and a file name and so on. Appliance, domain, file name, and so on. But here's a certificate from the local file system, and we can see this got a file name there. And we can see that there's some differences within these certificates. So that gives you the opportunity to decide, is that certificate the certificate we want to replace with on the box? Now, we're going to demo that feature in another tutorial video, so we're not going to demo that here, but the fact that you can compare certificates that are on the box with certificates that are not on the box is a very powerful feature. Now, one other thing that we can do is we can compare certificates on the box with certificates at another location. So, for example, I've got these couple of Google certs here, and I'm like, well, maybe I want to see if Google's cert has updated in any way since I last downloaded it. So I can right mouse click this, or again, we can use the hamburger menu over here, and I can select compare with certificate at URL. So again, I've got multiple certificates selected here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type the www.google.com, and I'm going to select OK. Now, the value of this, of course, is what if you have a server behind DataPower? Maybe it's not a commercial certificate. Maybe it's a server certificate that you have on-prem, and there's something going wrong with the certificate, and you want to be able to quickly compare the certificate on the box with the certificate at that URL, which is at that server. You just put in that server name or whatever the DNS is for that server ingress point, and DPAA will be able to pull that certificate information out. And when it does, again, the certificates on the appliances are clearly noted here, and then we can see that this certificate's not on the appliance, not in a domain. It's at www.google.com, and we can see that is this the same certificate? It certainly looks like it, especially if we compare the serial number. So we're good with that. We're good to go with that certificate. So as you see, we can compare certificates to each other. We can compare certificates to certificates on local files, and we can compare certificates at a URL. Now there's a different way of doing that, and that is under Find Objects. So if I go to Find Objects, I select Crypto Certificate, and now I'm just going to search for the DPAA ones, but we could search for others. I'm going to search for those certificates matching DPAA, and likewise, we can take certificates here. We can compare them to one another by going to Certificate Actions in the pop-up menu, and we can show certificate details. So we have the ability to compare them side by side here as well. The biggest difference in this screen and the other screen is we don't have the ability to compare with local files, and we don't have the ability to compare with remote files or files at a URL. So I hope that you can see that there's a lot of power in DPAA to be able to compare certificates at different locations and with one another and across domains and appliances, and even certificates that are not on the box. There are many, many more tutorials at www.kumbasoft.com. There's probably 9 tutorials or 10 tutorials on certificates out there. So you want to go out there and look at them all, because there's a lot of power in certificate management within DPAA. You also want to subscribe to this channel so you can get updates on any new videos, updated videos, new features, and anything that we may put out there for this product. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.